This right here is a camera. It's a Canon R10. It is a very nice camera for most people's standards. It's about $1,000. And I have two more cameras, a Sony a7 III and an FX30. Those are even more expensive. And recently, one of my friends asked me, Roger, what camera should I buy to start making content? And I told him, dude, you have an iPhone, use your iPhone. And he said, well, I want my videos to look really nice. At that point, I knew that the lens on his phone was not what was really holding him back. And that's what I wanted to talk about in this video. It's not this, it's not the fact that you don't have, or one of these that's holding you back, or a microphone like this that's holding you back from actually making content. You're either scared of people rejecting you, or you just don't want to be on camera. And that's completely fair. But if you're watching this, you probably want to make content. You probably have a good reason to. Maybe you are in search for financial freedom. Maybe you like the idea of being popular or famous. I'm not here to judge you. Or maybe you want to make a genuine impact on a certain type of person. All of which I think are valid reasons to start posting content. Now, so you might be asking yourself, well, who are you and why should I listen to you about anything? Why should I listen to you about posting content? Why should I listen to you about getting over fear, that sort of thing? Well, my name is Roger. I used to be a software developer, and after about 1.5 years, I quit my job to pursue my business, which was a content agency. As I was working my software developer job, I started posting content. And as I started posting content, I got a little better and a little better. And I was able to grow a humble Houston-based audience to over 4,000 followers, being mostly business owners in Houston. My business was a content business where I would film, I would edit, post, and do advertising for service-based businesses in Houston. And now I'm creative director at a commercial real estate company doing the exact same thing that I was doing before, but exclusively for one person. I've posted hundreds, if not thousands, of pieces of content, and I've gained my clients tens of thousands of followers and subscribers to their pages and gotten them millions of views. I've also been able to use Facebook ads for not only my own business, but for my clients' businesses to help them see real results and make real money conversions and not just get the bullshit leads that most people think come from Facebook. So even though I haven't figured this out, I'm not rich, I'm not better than most people, I'm not better than your favorite guru at any of these. I've accumulated a lot of different experiences and broken through a lot of barriers for myself, and I've been able to help people, my clients, along the way. So with that being said, I wanted to address the topic of getting over the fear of posting. Now, in a nutshell, to give you the summary, it's just something you're going to have to accept. There may be other people who are naturally more extroverted or who just care less about other people's opinions, and that doesn't mean that posting content is not for you. I understand the concerns of wanting your life to be private. I think everyone, to an extent, wants parts of their life to be private, and that's a real concern, but I think you have to, that's really not a super well thought out argument because you control what you post. You don't need to post everything about your life. You don't need to post your loved ones. You don't need to say everything about yourself. So ultimately, how do you get over this? What do you need to do? Well, what I tell people is you just need to get it done. You just need to put something out there and not really care how it does and just make an input goal. What that means is don't aim to get a number of followers. Don't aim to get a certain number of likes or views when you're just starting off. Aim to put something out consistently. Whatever that looks like, if that's once a week, once a month. Now I will say once a month is a little too, not enough. I would say once a day, something short form is very doable and not very difficult. And after a month, I promise you will be 1,000,000 times more comfortable posting. What I do hear a lot is people wanting to be perfectionists. And these people, I think the argument here is easy. They're letting perfection be the enemy of posted. I like to tell my friends as well, posted is better than perfect. Now, you always want to improve little by little, but you also want to realize that the priorities are not how good your video looks. It's think of it more as, did this video serve its purpose? Now, I don't want to get too deep into content strategy, advertising, and what kinds of posts do what, but I will say different types of content are for different purposes. This video you're seeing right here may not be for the masses. This video right here would be what I call nurture content. People can see this online, learn a little bit more about me, and decide if I'm someone they want to continue watching, someone they want to listen to, or not. Another post I make might be for viewership. So the main purpose of that is to be broad, is so that I can bring in people to my channel, to my page, give myself exposure, and then down the line, those people will continue to see my videos and I will feed them with a more in-depth content. So that's what I mean when I say, did the content serve its purpose? When you start posting content, have input goals, such as 1 post a day for a month, and try not to measure anything try not to measure your success in terms of views or likes, which just end up being vanity metrics, but measure your success on how did this content do for the purpose it had. If starting off, the purpose of the content was just to talk for 30 seconds straight, well, did you talk for 30 seconds straight? That's a great input goal. Then that's all you need to focus on. You don't need to focus on if it was good, if it got likes, if the lighting was good, if you don't like how you look. And I know this is a hard thing to do. Personally, when I was running my business, I quickly learned from experience that working with people who hadn't posted at all, doing a done-for-you service for someone that's never made content is very difficult because there's a lot of mental barriers. The mental barriers are, what if I don't look good? What if I don't get views? I don't like the way this looks, disregarding that content has different purposes, and just being insecure about a lot of little things. They didn't sound smart, etc. This is why I say it's so important to have these input goals. And once you set that for yourself and you do it, you will get a lot more comfortable and you will naturally get better over time. You don't have to force getting better. It's like the pottery class story. I don't know exactly who said it or if this was real or not, but there was a professor that had a pottery class and he split the class in two. He told half the class to focus the entire semester on making the best pot ever, and he told the other half of the class to make 50 pots, or he told them to make 1 pound worth of pots each. And then he would compare which pot was better at the end of the semester. Overall, and by far, the best pots came from the students that just focus on making a ton of pots. And it's the same when it comes to making content. You become more articulate, you become quicker with your thoughts, you can express yourself better. And you start to learn about content through experience, not through theory, not through some 3 content tips that someone on the internet gave you. You can make real, unique insights on what works for you specifically. And with these unique insights, you can then make better decisions for your business or your page. But everything starts with getting over the mental barrier of posting content. And there is no hidden secret, there is no trick. When I first made my first piece of content, I was so insecure that it took me 2 hours to press the post button. The Instagram post was ready on my phone, and it took me 2 hours just to press the button. And if that doesn't give you some sort of hope, then I hope something else will. I was able to grow an audience by a couple thousand, and I was able to help my clients gain thousands, and in some cases, tens of thousands, over 100,000 followers on their pages and get millions of views. I've also been able to help my clients get tons of leads and close tons of deals through advertising. And none of it would have been possible if they didn't just post the content. And none of it would have been possible if perfection was the enemy of posted. And you will get better over time, and make an input goal. Whatever that goal is for you, I would recommend that you at least do something a couple of times a week, whether that's a written post or a video. And I recommend you stick with that for at least 90 days, because 90 days is what I've personally seen is what it takes to see significant results through social media. You'll get enough of a feedback loop to see exactly what works for you. So if you want to learn more about content, what I'm up to as a creative director, what I'm looking at when it comes to making content, what I've learned in terms of doing advertising and commercial real estate, and any topic in between. Go ahead, give me a comment, subscribe to my channel, and let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to shoot me a DM if you want to have a more in-depth conversation. And thank you, and I hope you watch the next video.